to the mat. Today's yoga practice is going to be a Yin yoga session. For those of you familiar with Yin, or if you're not familiar, it is a great way to deepen your yoga practice through holding yoga postures for a longer period of time. We'll be doing several postures, holding for maybe 3 minutes each side or in whichever pose, and you'll find that it'll really allow the deepening of the stretch. It allows the connective tissue to relax and release, and it's a great way of connecting the body with the breath. So let's take a nice deep breath in to start, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice, and again. Beautiful, just land. This wonderful opportunity to take care of yourself. Switching into staff pose, so legs extended out straight and tall in the spine. I will be using blocks now and again just to show you the benefits of using blocks. Yin to me always feels sort of similar to restorative in that you hold the posture for a longer period of time. But restorative, we use blocks and bolsters and blankets and we kind of snuggle into the postures. Yin, we're going to come into the posture and then just connect the breath with the posture. So our first posture is a forward fold. So just sitting nice and comfortable and tall in the spine, and then hinging from the hips, we're going to just start to lean forward into this forward fold. And always notice where there's resistance. Don't try and press through resistance. Honor it and allow it to release. You might like having blocks here to just kind of come in, and maybe that's as far as your fold goes. Try to not roll and hunch. Try and keep your heart leading towards the knees. And then just notice as we start, you might go, okay, that's as far as I get, but as you relax into the posture, it might get a little bit deeper. So connecting with the breath, and then soften your thoughts. Close your eyes, just breathe into the stretch. This is a spine strengthener session, this Yin session. So we're going to focus on connecting breath with posture, and that will help strengthen concentration. And you'll notice that throughout the day that it'll help bring a nice sense of peace. Also a good hamstring stretch, so you may be noticing tightness in the hamstrings. You might notice it up the spine. Always in your yoga practice, if there's any discomfort, just gently come out of the posture. Not every posture is for everybody, and every body is different in composition, in just in where you're at in life, and it's great to tune into that. Noticing your deep breath, how it expands across the back. Using your hands, just press in and shift back up into staff posture, so nice long in the spine. We'll bend our knees. So I'm putting my hands behind my back. Bend your knees, plant your feet nice and wide, and we'll do a little windshield wiper stretch. So we're just letting the knees come all the way over to one side and then up and over to the other side. So a little gentle spinal stretch or twist. And then bringing some circulation into the hip joint. Nice, just stretching it out. Come back into your staff posture. This time we'll take your right leg and bring your foot into your thigh. So your knee goes out almost at a 45-degree angle. And then adjust your body back to straight, hips in line with the mat and leaning forward. Again, use your blocks if you need them, and we'll come into forward fold again. So noticing, just notice, right, how far your fold is, and then invite the beautiful breath. And sink into your fold, whatever's comfortable for you. And allow yourself to soften through the shoulders, through the hips, inviting that breath to fill the body. Bringing yourself as present as you can with the breath and feeling that breath fill your body, fill the rib cage, fill the belly, and feel the expansion across your lower back. So this is a lengthen, strengthen kind of posture that will help strengthen your spine. Just soften with your breath, allowing that connective tissue to release. Sometimes bringing your gaze to the third eye helps you just inner focus. So that would be closing your eyes and then pretend like you're looking out just above your eyebrow line. So almost out through your forehead, but not quite that high. And just connect. Notice if you see any color when you connect to your third eye. Notice that sense of calm that can come to the body when you tune in. Lovely. Use your hands, press in, and just gently come back up into staff. Just notice if there's discomfort, and we'll straighten out both legs now and give them a little energy thump. And then bend the knees, plant the feet, and we'll windshield wiper the knees again, just stretching out the hips, stretching out the spine. Little wrist stretch as well. Nice. Back into staff, and this time opposite leg, so your left leg coming up this time, so you can see, I'll show you, your right leg will be straight, left will come in to whatever's comfortable. Okay, just notice what bend, or and maybe on one side it's one way and on the other it's another, and that's totally fine. It's awesome to just land on the mat and do this self-care. So adjust your hips so that you're facing the end of the mat now and in line with that right leg. And then use your blocks if you need them. And if you were using your blocks, you might put them here and just kind of support your arms. There's all these different settings. This might be perfect for you right here. Okay? And allow yourself that opportunity to lead with the heart towards the knee and invite that deep, beautiful breath in and out through the nose. I can notice this side I can get quite a bit deeper than I did on the other side. That's my left hamstring is usually a little tighter than the right, so I just notice that and I work on that with some gentle stretch and just awareness. Notice if there's tension in your shoulders, relax the shoulders, relax through the spine and the hips. Breathe. Breath expand through the lower back as you deep breathe in, filling the belly, expanding through the back, expanding through the chest and rib cage, noticing that across the shoulders, upper back. Beautiful. Use your hands pressing in, walk your hands back up. Lovely. And then let's extend both legs out. Beautiful. Give them a little thump. Get that energy flow in there. Bend the knees. Plant the feet. I'm planting as wide as the edges of the mat. And then big wide windshield wipers up and over. Stretching out. Beautiful twist to the spine. And those forward folds are great because they invite a little gentle squish, if you will, to your internal organs, which helps relieve toxins from inside. And toxins build up in your body because your body's functioning normal, and normal function brings toxin waste, if you will, as the organs work. So yoga practice and doing twists and folds and inversions can really help release toxins. Beautiful. Now we'll come into dragonfly. So this is going to be a wide leg fold. I'll come forward so you can see. And you can be as wide as you want your legs to be. It can be as wide as you're comfortable, right? Remembering it's catering to you and your body. And use the blocks if you like. So again, we're hinging from the hips. So think about that like it's a hinge at the hips. So you're not rolling in. You're keeping your shoulders down and back, long in the spine, hinging forward. And perhaps you want the blocks to just catch you here. And you're in your beautiful forward, like leaning in. Maybe you get a little lower. Maybe you go all the way to the floor. As I said, no judgment on yourself. Just notice where you're at. And invite that breath as you hinge forward, leading with the heart. So again, lengthen and strengthen through the spine. And invite this beautiful breath. This yin practice is lovely for just deepening the stretch, and allowing that connective tissue to release. So check in, kind of wiggle about a little bit and just notice that energy going all the way down to your toes, releasing through the shoulders. Beautiful breath. Nice to sink in. Maybe you notice after a few breaths that you go a little micro bit deeper into the stretch, or you actually physically feel that release where the connective tissue and the muscle just sort of goes, ah. Always remembering, if anything feels uncomfortable, you shift out of that pose, you adjust. Maybe your legs are feeling fatigued with your hips too far wide, so just bring your legs a little closer. Maybe you need to just shift up and come back a notch because you're feeling fatigue in your spine. Just notice, never press through a yoga pose. Just notice where you're at, and then just allow your body to open up and just receive that beautiful self-care. Start gently pressing in with the hands, coming back up, and then let's bring our legs together. I'll come forward into staff pose and just give them another little thump. And again, let's do a little reach back with our hands, bend our knees, plant our feet wide, and go as wide as the edge of your mat, and then allow the knees to come all the way over to one side, up and over to the other side. Oh, and if you feel that nice spot there where it's stretching out the hip, just pause there. It's a beautiful hip stretch. Great, beautiful stretch. And you're stretching out through the wrist, shoulders, arm, and you're getting a little spinal twist. Lots of goodness. Okay, shifting now into butterfly. This is a lovely pose, and really great if you're holding tension in your hips, which we tend to do, and we hold it in our necks and our shoulders. So we want to release that tension. Again, use your blocks, put them on so that the fleshy part of your thigh is on the side of the block. You don't want to put that angle into there. You want it supported. Okay, you can just tuck that in there, and that's a nice supported butterfly. I'm just holding my feet and that sort of inviting a little hinge forward to deepen that stretch. And you can just allow natural gravity to open up that butterfly, and just notice everyone is different with how far open you'll get, and maybe your feet don't even come all the way in, and that's okay too. It's really about being here and noticing and checking in with the body and just seeing where you're at. Okay, maybe a little pulsing out there feels nice, but just let it just come to stillness and bring the breath. So soften your gaze, remembering to keep your shoulders down away from the ears. And then if you want to invite a little fold, you can. And bring the breath. So fill the body. Lengthen, strengthen that spine. This is all wonderful for your spine. This is great for opening up through the hips. some fatigue in the legs, maybe in the knee joints or the hips, remember just to gently come out of the posture and just shake it out. And then if you can come back, that's great. We're only here for a short while, just deepening that stretch. Use your hands, just sort of gently press in and then guide your legs to straighten back out again. So just gently straighten the legs. Nice, just notice how the hips are feeling, how the spine is feeling. Give them gentle little bit of love there. We're going to swing around now onto our bellies into Sphinx pose. So coming right over on your belly. And this is a supported back bend. So we're going to put our elbows under our shoulders, palms down, tops of the feet on the mat. And then just pressing in through the palms and elbows, and try to now just release and relax through the hips. Beautiful. So tuck your chin in and your gaze is just kind of down, maybe in between your hands. Okay. If this posture gives you grief, you can extend your arms out, and that softens the bend in your spine. So if you're feeling that that's too hard on your spine, just move your elbows out and away from the body a little bit further. Nice, and then just invite that beautiful breath. Lovely, just soften. Notice where you're holding tension. Are you tense in the buttocks? Can you release that and just relax? My toes are just kind of splayed in a little bit so that my heels just kind of gently fall out to the side. And then as I breathe, I'm feeling that stretch in the spine. Remembering to shift out if you feel any fatigue in the spine and it's giving you grief, just move those elbows forward. I'm going to bend my knees and widen my, I'm bending my knees and then widen my knees and bringing the soles of my feet together. That's going to deepen that spinal bend. So we are supported with the body. The hip points are on the mat. Your hands and arms are stabilizing. And then I've brought the soles of the feet together, bent knees to just deepen that bend to the spine. And relax through the hips and buttocks. And we'll just stay here just briefly. Beautiful. Release the feet down. I'm going to now shift the knees in and lift up. Bring the knees forward and wide. And then press my bum back to my heels. And I'm just going to stretch out in a nice child's pose. So I'm just going to press my bum to my heels and allow my belly just to sink in between my thighs and stretch out with my arms. And take a nice deep breath here.
practicing in child's pose, when you take that nice deep breath, you feel that all up your spine, across your shoulders. You feel it in your hips. Your whole body expands with it. It's so beautiful. Such a beautiful restorative posture to come into child's pose and just stretch out the shoulders and the lower back. Using your hands to just walk back up, I'm going to swing my knees over to one side and come down onto my bum into easy pose. And then we'll just bring our hands together into Anjali Mudra. And thumbs to sternum, and lower your gaze. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice. A beautiful yin session to help deepen that stretch. I invite you to keep your hearts open to receive. Try to speak your truth and speak from the heart. And always honor that beautiful creative energy from inside. And thank you for joining me on the mat for Mawvelous Yoga with Kelly. Hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.